Hey, Frank Paris here. Just wanted to introduce you to a new gadget gimmick that you can use in your close-up. It's not a Del Rey piece. I've been really hung up on Del Rey for the last number of years, trying to develop props that were similar to his props, like the computer deck and various magnetic type gadgetry and that kind of thing. Because most of the stuff he did was with electromagnets and cards and automata birds. These wind up called Grisbaum. Sorry, I always say Grissom. Grisbaum, 1950s wind up chirping birds. If you go to my Facebook group, uh, on Del Rey, just type in Del Rey Facebook group or something like that, and you'll come to the Del Rey group. You'll see some videos of that I filmed of Del Rey doing some of the electronic magic that he does. In fact, most of what you will see is probably the only thing you will see because he's only had a few times that he's allowed or he did allow people to film him. This new gadget, just not to get off the subject too much, is something I custom built for myself. But then I said to myself, well, maybe other magicians might want to have it or own it or that kind of thing. And I'm just scratching the surface with the kinds of things you can do with this gadget, gimmick, whatever you want to call it. And I'm playing around with it today. It's January 2022, and I was just playing around with it. And when you, as a performer, magician, you try to give the best presentation you can. And when you see these presentations are going too well, on the video, if you videotape them like I do, you turn around and you go home and you say, I'm not going to do that again, I'm not going to do this again, I'm not going to do that again. Okay, but with props, when you're dealing with props, okay, handling has to be, in my opinion, has to be front and center with regards to uh, being 100%. In other words, if it doesn't work out of 10 times, I don't want it. I don't want it in my act. I don't want to use it in a show, that kind of thing. So when I come up with items like what I'm going to show you here, and I want to get away with not saying it works 10 out of 10 times, just to become a hypocrite, so to speak, I usually say, well, it doesn't have to work 10 out of 10 times, but I won't do that particular move or that particular thing with it so that the things that do work 10 out of 10 times, I will do. Okay, so that's how I get around that. It's this lame excuse, but anyway, again, I'm digressing, but this is a regular deck of cards. It's a ribbon spread. You can do a ribbon spread. Excuse me, my card work is not that great. Okay, come on, get over there. If you want to do a ribbon spread before you show this particular trick or whatever trick you're going to come up with or invent, then you can do a ribbon spread. Okay, it's pretty hard to hide a gimmick in a deck of cards if you're doing a ribbon spread. So if there is a gimmick in here, nobody's going to see it. All right, that's again, that works 10 out of 10 times. You can do the ribbon spread and they're not going to see a gimmick in the deck of cards. It's not to say there isn't one, but for instance, if I take the deck of cards, there's a little plate I put here. Okay, if I take the deck of cards and I just place it down like so, and that happens, say that was a forced card. Say you forced a playing card, and then you took it and you placed it on the red dot that finds cards. Okay, again, hopefully it'll work again. Okay, if I place it down here, and that's a tell. What you just saw is a tell. The first time it wasn't a tell because I held the deck of cards a little tighter. Okay, so but if you can do something like that, you say sometimes I I have somebody pick a card, and you're talking to an audience now. Sometimes I have somebody pick a card, and I have them tell me. I tell you, say stop anywhere. Okay. Now you do a top force. All right. You do a top force on whatever it is, and then whatever it is they see happens to be the ace of spades because you're doing a top force. Okay. And that happens. So, and I'm just going to place it on my red dot of truth, and it's going to find the card, the true card to the trick. Okay, so basically, ace of spades. So that's just one thing you can do. All right, take the red dot away. I don't sell the red dot. I'll tell you how to make your own, but I won't sell that. Okay, so but that's just one thing you can do. Okay, the other thing you can do is you can spread the cards out after you've done the force. Okay, and your ribbon spread, and I'm sure it's going to happen. When it does, it's going to be amazing. Let's just see what we got here. Oh, wow. There it is. Okay. So there's your ace. Now, that wasn't perfect. Again, it's one of those things. It works every time, but it doesn't work perfectly every time. I mean, ideally when you do that, or, you don't have to do a rhythm spread. You can just take the deck and place it like this. Sorry, I'm slipping here. Place the deck of cards like so. And if you watch closely, this may happen before your eyes. And again, it may not. It doesn't matter if it happens before your eyes. If it happens after your eyes, that's also a good trick. But you can see it happened before your eyes. And again, we'll push it out. And there's your ace of spades. All right, so let's just say you do a ribbon spread this way, and that happens. Okay? The card jumps out of the deck. You say, some of my cards are ambitious, so if you pick one of those cards, I did a top force with another ace of spades. Okay, you do get gimmick ace, but you get the gimmick card, whatever it might be. Okay, so I'm doing a ribbon spread this way, and again, this time it didn't jump out, but something's going to happen. I don't know what, or where, or when, but something's going to happen. And there it is. It's coming. It's coming out. I see it. And there it is again. So you can do a straight ribbon spread. You can do a semicircle like so. Sorry, I grabbed those cards wrong. Tell I'm not a card expert. Okay, and sorry, I dropped the Apis. I mean, there's no limit to what you can do with it, which is nice. Let me see if I can find this. This can be a cap, clear plastic cap. This is all I have right now, but you can place the clear plastic cap on the deck, and basically what's going to happen is the same thing that happened before when it was on the, So there's no limit to what you can do with this thing. I'm sorry. There it is. There's no limit to what you can do with this thing. And I haven't tested the thickness of the cap, and it can be clear. But again, this gimmick is something you may want to use. Now, what's the hard part of this whole thing that we talked about? Well, the hard part is putting a routine together and also making a table. Okay, this table was pre-made for me by somebody years ago. It's got music in it. I'm not going to turn on the music because it won't get up on Facebook or eBay because it's copyrighted music. Most of the music that I have that's built into this amplifier table is copyrighted music. So obviously I can't put it up on eBay or Facebook because they look at, well, I don't know about eBay, but Facebook, it eliminates the ability for you to play music that's copyrighted. So I'm not going to do that. I have a lot of copyright free music that I use also, and it's not hard to find on the internet, but it's hard to find music that is in tune with what you want to do for your particular shows. So if you want to turn around and do your this kind of a trick with with music and that kind of thing, you got to have to be careful with the kind of music you use, and if you want duty-free music, whatever you want to call it, copyright-free music, you can find it up there, and you can pay to use unlimited amount of uncopyrighted music by paying a fee, monthly fee, or that kind of thing, or download all the stuff and then you got it. Okay. So anyway, a cap will work. What I started to get and say is that you have to build a table, okay, that has a space about that big, maybe even less, maybe about that big. So you have to build a table. Well, I don't know how to build tables. Okay, you don't need to build a table. Go to, well, AC Moore, I think, is out of business. Go to Michael's. Go to some of these hobby stores, these craft stores in your state or in your country where they have the craft stores, and buy a shadow box. Now, everybody knows what a shadow box is. It's a box that you put, say, a flag in for a deceased person who was a soldier, or it's a baseball or a baseball glove or some item that you want to keep and cherish and keep it dust free and that kind of thing. Get a shadow box. Now, they make shadow boxes this big. You'll even find them up on Amazon. You know what a shadow box is, whatever the length is and whatever the width is here, which if I got, let me get my tape measure here. Okay. So this particular case, this particular tabletop is 22 by 15, okay? It's got a built-in amplifier, it's got a bunch of things. But you need a shadow box. If you want it this thick, that's good. Get it this thick. Then you need to make your own tabletop for it. So what you're going to do is get your shadow box. There's usually glass in it. So you're going to have to break the glass out and then put a tabletop on it. You understand? Get a piece of wood to match the size of the tabletop. All right, like that. And then you can Velcro it on four sides, with Velcro dots, that kind of thing. On the bottom, again, there's going to be cardboard. You're not going to be able to use cardboard to mount it on anything. This particular item I added feet. You can see the feet on the bottom of that. Okay, next to the speakers in the front and in the back, just the feet. Now I bought those little rubberized feet at the local hardware store. Okay, or again, you can go on Amazon and buy them. All right, so now, and you're going to have to put a piece of wood on the bottom for support, okay? And then the gimmick. The gimmick will drop right in the middle. All you got to do is turn it on and turn it off, okay? That's all you got to do. It comes with a remote control, all right? All right, and we're using some of the best components to make this gimmick up. And so you will be able to, again, do what I just showed you. You will get a deck of cards with the gimmicked card. In this case, it's the Ace of Spades. And of course, you'll also have the original Ace of Spades in the deck. So that if you want to do a top force, I do a top force. I do the riffle shuffle, and then I use these three fingers to put the card where I want it to after they say stop, which is a top force. And you can you can look around on YouTube and there's a whole bunch of different kinds of forces if you want to do a top force. And then you always want to make sure that you're as close to the middle as possible. Okay? The card could be anywhere. The card could be the first card. The bar card could be the next to the last card. It couldn't be the last card. That's stupid. But the middle, it could be in the middle, anywhere in the middle. This gimmick is going to find that card and move it out. Okay? What I did with this particular piece of equipment is, this is a magnet that's in here, and you put, a north-south. If you haven't figured it out yet, the gimmick in here is a moving magnet in a mechanism. So you're going to get the moving magnet in a mechanism with the remote control to do this. And I just want to give a little credit to Peter Longrum, who makes something not similar, but close to it when it comes to doing things like this. So Peter Longrum, I thank you for the idea. Okay, it's not the same idea. It's a different kind of concept, and it works basically the same way, but I'm using a different methodology to create the situation. Uh, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I study people who are creative and who are um, uh, sort of on the same wavelength as I am as far as what they like. So the kind of thing that I see in Del Rey's equipment and Peter Longrum's equipment and other people's equipment is, you know, I try to either improve upon it, I try to modify it, make it work 10 out of 10 times, or if it doesn't work 10 out of 10 times, it's going to work, okay, so that you can pull yourself out of the soup. All right. So, for instance, if I do this, see if I got this right, and the card comes out, shoots out that way, which I think I can do. Hold on, let me just try to do that. No, it still wants to come out this way. I did it a couple of times before. Then I still got the trick. It's still either it came out this way or that way. I didn't have to save myself as far as or be embarrassed by the trick not working. And again, as I discussed before, for me, it's it doesn't have to work 10 out of 10 times, but it's got to work. It's got to work. If it works a different way, or it works a certain way that doesn't is not in tune with what I'm professing, like I said, I won't work this way. I'm just experimenting here with these things. See, now it's going to come out this way. See, it came out that way. All right, it's just a matter of playing around with the gimmick and that kind of thing. The ribbon spread, as far as the ribbon spread here, sorry about that. As far as the ribbon spread is here, okay, and being able to pick up the card, this way. Let's see, come on, kiddo. It's going to happen. Here we go. Now, my wife suggested that that I cover the card completely. In other words, do this. I know it's in the middle. Okay. And if I just do the other hand, run my hand over the cards and maybe just stay somewhere in the middle, like so. And rub the atoms over the card. Okay. Like I'm doing right now. And then maybe wiggle your finger. Alright, so you've got the ace coming out. She suggested I cover it, and that's the mystery. But for me, it's eerier. I guess you could say eerier. It's eerier if you just let it jump out. Whether you have it on this little cap here, like so, or whether I haven't experimented to see how high you can make this. and I would use a clear glass. I know Del Rey used um, a cup to make a rabbit sit up and then balance himself on his ears or his nose. I can't remember which one. And the cup was about that high. Okay, so this is sort of like that, only it is it's a moving system. It's a moving magnet system. All right, that's inside here, and it's small. It's not big. The gimmick is about that big. Okay, with an arm on it. All right, and the transmitter and receiver you know about already. And of course you could probably, now that I think about it, and again this is something it's prototyped but it's ready to go. If I had to make one, I could put one together in like um, a couple of 2 or 3 hours, okay, and ship it out the next day. So it's not like I can't make it, and I'm not sure if it's going to work all the time. It'll work for whatever you want it to work. Okay, so if you needed to, you can add magnets to the inside of my gimmick. Okay, you can email me, or you can text me, or PM me and ask me, well, where do I get the magnets? And I'll tell you where to get the magnets. They're up on Amazon, okay, and you can buy them up there. You can add magnets to it to make the deck of cards go up higher if you want, that kind of thing. So again, I'm going to just end this now because it's 21 minutes looking at my phone, and just say the gimmick is available. I can have one built in a day or two and shipped out 3-day select UPS. So we don't have any problems with you getting it as quickly as possible, and you can have this nice little effect. I mean, you can do a spread this way. You can do a spread straight, ribbon spread straight. You know, that kind of thing, and it works. It'll work. It's going to work. All right, so I'm going to just say Frank Paris, as always, over and out. Hope to hear from you about this item. Thank you. Bye.